Okay, welcome back. It's been a little while. Um, I wasn't sure exactly when or what my schedule would be for releasing videos. There you go. Take a drink of water for you. Um, yeah. So here we are with episode 4. Prefabs are evil. Oh boy, they are. So this weekend, I was gonna have a video out probably by Monday. But BlizzCon happened, and I happen to be a fan of Diablo and a bunch of other games and stuff. And yeah, I was just watching all the Hearthstone championships and everything going on. Wasn't really too much into game dev stuff, except for I made the map system work, and I started on the Graves. But as you will see, that's all kind of like broken now, sort of. We'll get to that. Intro. Hi, how's it going? Yeah, welcome back. So, started coding things separate from the game manager, like it's a big new mistake, and it caused problems. Okay, so here's what happened. You get ambitious for a project, you design the project, you get everything going and say, oh, this is awesome, this is how I'm going to have it, I'm going to have my game manager here, my bell scissors here, my HUD here, it's going to talk like this, it's going to work like this, and then you skip one important step, and that's the order of importance when you're designing stuff. And that's a hard lesson to learn, I guess. I mean, I designed it, I designed all the stuff, it worked out of my head, but the order that you design certain things doesn't always work out in the end. Because when you come up with a problem, like say, oh, well, I need to make a map system. Cool. You make a map system, you code the map system, it works, fantastic. That's one problem, and you came up with a solution for that problem. Now let's make teleporting into graves because we want to have our quest characters, our NPCs, down into the graves, and you have to go down there, you have to talk to them and interact with them. Cool. That's one problem. You come up with a solution for that problem, and it works, everything's great. But you have another problem, which is, oh, I want to make the game manager now. I should have done that. But I didn't. I started working on all these other problems first, and they had really simple solutions, so I figured I would just do those first, and then when I write the game manager, I can just incorporate those prefab modules, and just get everything working together, and it would fit nice and neatly, and just be awesome. Well, no, that doesn't work like that, because the game manager is a problem on its own, which needs a different solution for that problem. So, therefore, the same problem that we had with the map isn't necessarily the same problem when it's combined with the game manager. That's a whole new problem. And the solution you come up with for just a map isn't the same solution that you get for the map and game manager system. So it's another total problem, and it requires a different solution than what I had in place. So, granted, I did have a working map system, but it's now broken, and it's another problem that I have in the back burner, and yeah, yeah. But yeah. So, with that said, order of importance in your design matters just as much as designing the stuff does. So, yeah. So here it is. Was Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I was supposed to potentially release a pretty good video on Monday, but then things that broke, and I had to fix the new problems and take my old problems that I had solutions for and put them in. Ugh, okay, moving on. So, lesson learned number 2. When you put things into prefabs and things started to randomly break. Okay, prefabs are an amazing thing. And what prefabs are, they're prefabricated objects. So let me give you an example of what a prefab is. So, say I have some art object here. I now take, like this moon, I'm going to put the moon in the scene, right? So the moon is in the scene right there. Now I want to say, okay, I want this moon to be a prefab because it's just a moon right now. It's just a regular object. So we're going to take this, put this down here, and voila, the moon is now a prefab. So whatever changes I make to this object down here is going to happen to any object that's up in the scene in the hierarchy. So if I have like 20 scenes, I can have 20 iterations of the same object. So if I change one object, I can keep the one object's state the same in the one scene, or I can hit apply where it says up here, apply, and apply that to every object in all the scenes. So that's ideally how a prefab is supposed to work. So let's say this. Let's create another empty object. So now I'm going to put this game object in this moon. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the moon, I'm going to hit apply. So now if I do another instance of moon, oh, see, there's the bug starting to happen. See, what you think happens doesn't necessarily always happen, and this is where the bug stuff started happening, because sometimes I would think things, and see, look, that's not even an actual prefab. Did I even grab the prefab? Alright, let's delete this. Okay, this is the prefab. Alright, yep, there it is. Okay, so it did work. Okay, so now this here is the prefab, and when we hit apply here, every time I instantiate a moon object, it's going to have that change associated to it. So yeah, but here's where things start to get broken. Say I want to do this, move it out of the object. This action will break the prefab instance. Are you sure you wish to continue? Continue. You go up to here and you hit apply. Bam! You just broke every single prefab object. Even though this wasn't a prefab anymore, you broke it and it got turned back into a prefab, even though it isn't a prefab anymore because you broke it. That causes so much problems, and I went prefab crazy, and yeah. So I mean, yeah. Let's just say that prefabs are evil. You have to be careful what you do with them. Don't if you're going to if you're in a development stage, don't use prefabs. I mean, because you're going to be potentially adding new things to it, or you might change your mind and you might add new things to it later. But then what you think you're doing, you might not actually be doing, and you might not get the results that you want. Just like the results that happened there, where I took that game object out of that one prefab, and I thought that by potentially hitting apply, that I would be changing only that particular object. But then that became the new instance for the prefab, which then broke everything in my other. Okay, yeah. Let's just say don't use a prefab until you're ready to commit the game to a build. When you're done designing, when you're done tinkering, just don't use prefabs because it will break everything and it'll do stuff. You'll get bugs that came out of nowhere, and oh my god, yeah. So don't use prefabs. Prefabs are evil, or at least not until you finalize your game and you want to make things prefabs. You make it easier, but yeah. So what I ended up having to do, because of the game manager and the prefab problem, I ended up having to. Well, I created a character selection screen, but then I ended up having to redesign it because of all the broken stuff. I had teleports that went from scene to scene, which I think I showed you in the last video with the cemetery. I had to redesign those, the ways those work, because those all broke. Because those were all prefabs. Yeah, okay, that was a nightmare. So Now I have three characters. I have the monkey vampire, I have the skeleton dog, and I have the zombie turkey. So not only did I have to make sure that the teleporters worked with the monkey, I had to make sure they worked with all the characters. So therefore, the redesign was because I had to make sure all the teleporters worked with each character, not just the monkey. So yeah, that was a whole problem because again, my approach was let's take all the problems that have simple solutions, do the simple solutions, and then we'll modularize it into like prefabs, and then we'll just add it all together in one homogeneous, complete system that's flawless and it'll work. No, it just doesn't work like that, and everything was broken. Ugh, prefabs are evil. Did I mention that already? Okay, so one had a working map. It's now broken due to game manager switchover and other prefab problem. Teleported to graves. Excuse me. Some are broke because of the game manager switch, because of the teleporting system, and because of I had to have all the teleports work between all the characters and not just one character. So yeah. Then I created a skeleton dog, and let me go ahead and show you what he looks like. Here he is in pieces. So why I had to create it in pieces like this, because each one of these separate pieces is a potential animation point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the dog together here so I can show you what's going on with it. Okay, this is the back leg. Like that. A little paw there. It should come up like that. And there's that leg piece. There's that leg there. The tail just connects like that. That bone's connected to that bone, and you know that stupid song when you're a kid and you're singing that shit. Yep, so there's that one. There's that one. There's that paw. And now we have Voltron Dog. No, just kidding. But yeah, there we go. We have our little skeleton dog, and I think this took me an hour to do. Um, I was using, let's turn this on. I was using these pictures as reference, these little skeletal pictures here. So it was pretty easy. Like I said, okay, so what's the head look like? It looks like that's my iteration of that head. Okay, so as you can see, the skeletal structure isn't 100% exact as this because I wanted to cartoonize it a little bit. So the ribs are kind of cartoon ribs. They look like that. Then his little shoulder plate right there, his vertebrae on his neck, it's kind of cheesy, and the vertebrae for the back. It's a little cheesy here, so I just made it like one little strip here. Then you have your like pelvic area here for the dog, which is right there, and then your pieces for the legs and the tail and the feet and whatever the fuck they call these little extra parts and shit. Yeah. So yeah, that's the dog. So let's see how he animates. So there he is. There he is in all his glory. And let's hit play. And there it is. Little puppy dog. So yep, that's his, these are all his like little animation points and everything I put together. So that's the skeleton dog. And now the zombie turkey. So let's go ahead and pop him open. And there he is. With all his glory. Again, I went for kind of like a simplistic style because I said, well, okay, let's start with a chicken body, and we'll start with chicken parts. Like, so this is like his arm. That's his other arm. This is his one leg. It goes there. This is his other leg, and then his arm over there, and then his other arm goes on top like this. The head comes down, and the eyeball goes right on there like that. And now you can animate them. So let me show you that. Here we are. Hit play. You can see his eyeballs moving. That's important. That is a selling point for the zombie turkey, is to have his eyeball moving. Now, of course, I'm going to come back later and animate these guts in here and potentially animate one or two of these feathers. Like this one's going to lop back and forth. Maybe one of these will fall over and fall down. Maybe get some more head movement in. Stuff like that. But as of right now, it works. It's good for testing. And yeah, so character selection screen, we got that started. I'll show you that in a second. Beginning of the game manager, I created the game manager object and then I added all the teleport systems into it. I added a bunch of other character selection stuff into it because you don't want all the characters active at once. So basically what I did is I disabled characters in each frame, so that way when you went through the character selection screen, the character selection screen set an environment variable that said what character got selected. So then the game manager's job when you go through each scene is to check that variable and enable the character that was selected when you go to each scene, so that you only have the proper character and not the character that you didn't want. So that was the design decision that I went with. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do that, but I decided to go with it like that because that kind of works. Uh, yeah, I redesigned teleport between scenes. I kind of started a battle system, sorta, because it's not a battle system yet. It's just me playing around with how I want it to look, kind of thing. And then upcoming to do, need to make quests at a quest system. Design quest NPCs. Well, maybe what I should do is this. Story. Yeah, story bits. Because before I need to do quests, I need to have story elements. That way quests can be revolved around story elements and NPCs can be revolved around story characters. So, yeah, that's what I need to do. So, alright, so let's see where we're at with the game. Okay, so we have everything here. Let's go, let's just save it real quick. And let's clicked. Sorry, I have like a bad allergy day. I'll try and edit that out later. Okay, so here we are. The opening screen. This is still the same. I didn't change this from anything yet. It works. So here's our start menu. We're going to click start. Voila. We now have a rudimentary character selection screen with our rudimentary choose a character text. So all my past videos I showed you the vampire guy, so I'm going to choose the turkey. So we click on him and voila, we teleported right into, oh yeah, I've done some foreground work with those trees and stuff, made it a little better. Plus I widened out this area a bit because the area was about this tall before and I felt that there wasn't enough clicking room in between, especially for, since I may, with the battle system, like say for instance if there's grave robbers sitting right in front of here and I walk up to them like this and you engage them, I may have the battle happen right here in the street. I haven't decided on that yet. That's one of the things that I'm kind of pondering on, but yeah. So yeah, and teleports work. I mean, we just moved up. Now these should work. Yeah. So this is like one of the insides and what they would potentially look like. This is a rudimentary version of it because I just want to have some kind of placeholder there for testing. So if eventually there's going to be some items here or maybe some crypt type stuff where you can go loot it and get items. And then this little light here is to indicate the way back up. So we just click around here and then now you're back up. So some of these graves, but not all of them, work. So, but yeah, that's pretty much, where we're at. And as you can see, the map doesn't really work here anymore. So let's go down here. Oh, okay. So the map works in this scene Okay, that's interesting. As you can see here, the little guy moves when you move down here. So now he's here. That needs to get tweaked. So now he's over here. Now he's over here. Okay, so that's working here. So, like I said, I mean, there's there's so many bugs, or I shouldn't say so many anymore. I fixed the majority of them because of the whole prefab thing and the whole like map problem. So yeah, map doesn't work in this section. So I'll have to figure that out and piece that in. And I guess I'm going to have to kind of redo the whole map code, whatnot, to get it to work better. But yeah, so let's do this. Let's start again, and I'll show you the dog. So here we go. In all his glory, we got the animal. Yep, map works here, but it's showing the vampire. Yep, that's gonna have to change. So that way, because we're on a dog now, so when you pull up the map, there's gonna have to be a map marker for the dog to show you where the dog's at. So that's gotta get added in and fixed. So yeah, I mean we can go in the graves and stuff. Yep, and good stuff, good times. So hopefully by the next episode, I might have. Okay, this is still broken. I might have to redo this whole stupid thing, but for the time being, okay, that needs to get fixed a little bit. Yeah. So this is going to be the first base or first dungeon where there's a boss head going to be in it. So I'll have to get that reworked and fixed. But as of right now, I mean, yeah, everything seems to be working again. I got all three characters in. They all work. Start button, vampire. And here he is, little vampire guy. Proper map marker. Okay. So yeah, there's that little foreshadowing or foreground effects, the little trees that I put in there. That looks alright. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it works. So, yeah. So that's it for this session. I'm not quite sure how long it went. Let me see how long it went. 22 minutes. Okay, so this is pretty much gone long enough. So, yep. That's where everything's at right now. Yeah, prefabs are evil. The takeaways from this, basically, like we do this 10, 19. Take ways. Don't prefab until you need to prefab. Don't do all the easy problem tasks out of order. Okay, so the other thing is what works on paper doesn't work in practice. Kappa. Okay, so with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a pretty, yeah. Okay, so this was episode 4, Prefabs are Evil. I'll catch you next time.